So if we were to go even younger in people's careers, and we now are dealing with a young PhD student, what advice would you give them regarding training in basic disciplines? That is, what extent should they be focusing their efforts on what we've traditionally considered marketing versus receiving a training in a more in a discipline like economics or psychology or something like that?
So, in a way, I think when we discuss what the exposure to marketing typically means in PhD programs, I'm be a little bit provocative. I think that young scholars increasingly are getting, at least at highly regarded PhD programs, are getting deeper exposure to one or more basic disciplines of their choice. I don't know if that's gone as far as it could or should go even further, but having that exposure to a basic discipline I think is very, very valuable. And so I would hate to see PhD students fail to receive or to pursue that. But I would kind of go in a different direction as well, in hoping for something that many PhD programs really don't do very much, and that is a broad exploration of what business decision makers actually do, why they do it or don't do it in particular ways, and what, in terms of thought leadership, what the world feels that it needs most from schools of management. And that can't be, 90% of what a PhD program offers. But I think it has, those kinds of perspectives have gotten smaller, not larger, over the last 20 or 25 years in doctoral programs. And I think that's been to the detriment of our field long term. Fewer PhD students have MBAs, of course, and the MBA is not a panacea with respect to the way people understand management decision making. But the number of people coming out of PhD programs who know quite little about the way organizations are managed and who are expected to go into MBA program teaching or sometimes undergraduate program teaching and help people make business decisions feels a bit unfair to the students, unfair to the young faculty, and unfair to what the world feels that a school of management should offer. I know that some other deans have been quite forceful about this issue and feeling that at least the MBA set of core courses should be the subject of some part of a PhD program or a doctoral program, so that, if nothing else, a young marketing professor would be able to have a meaningful dialogue with a young finance professor or a young accounting professor. And increasingly, as we pursue basic disciplines, unless those other faculty are themselves not too well attuned with respect to their own business function, but know a great deal about the same basic discipline as the marketing person, they have relatively little to talk about with each other. So I think with respect to both relevance of research, but also with respect to the educational mission that we imagine these people fulfilling, I think a greater exposure to what people do in business would be valuable.